What up, everybody? BMF Season 3, Episode 9. We saw Detective Jen getting real close to Henry with her attempt to plant a bug in Henry's cane. First showing up to Henry and Blaze's gambling spot, but wasn't able to plant the bug, then had to hurry up and get out of there before she was spotted by the police captain. This makes me to ask the question, is there anybody who's clean on the police force right now in Detroit if the Andreases also have the captain in their pocket? Because even if there is, we can already see the captain could do to them like he did Jen the second they mention anything about Henry or Blaze. And right now, neither Jen nor Bryant can do anything to them legally because Bryant got fired and Jen got suspended. But Jen is confident she's going to be able to go over the police department's head by reaching out to Councilman Amberson, her partner who was killed's father. But Jen was also able to plant the bug after making out of Henry's spot undetected by your boss. At the same time earning Henry's trust all the more by hooking up with her, something I doubt she told Bryant about. Because they promised each other they would give each other complete transparency as partners. And we saw that in episode 9 that Bryant did just that when he told Jen that he killed Henry's cousin, Tyson, and that he strategically placed the body. Talking about dumping it in a dumpster near Terry's restaurant, making it look like BMF was responsible, and adding fuel to the already existing beef that we saw play out just the way that Bryant planned it at the end of the episode when Henry gunned down Hoop. A lot of people were in my comments after the episode saying that either Glock or Hoop could still be alive, and this is true after we saw Lamar survive, but the difference being that the cops were on the way when Meat shot Lamar, so he didn't bleed out. I think because where she shot Hoop at, he's probably going to bleed out and die. But we're going to have to wait till the final to see for sure. I personally hope your boy survives because Hoop's always been loyal and he is Meech and T's last remaining partner from their 50 Boys days. But as for Jen sharing the same transparency with Bryant, I don't think she did that. And this could also come back to haunt her because Bryant might not know how deep Jen is in with Henry. And Henry definitely doesn't know anything about the bug because they listened to her whole conversation blaming T for killing Tyson. So now in order to bring down the Andreases, Jen plans on reaching out to Councilman Amberson for help. She told Bryant that she wants her job back. But as long as she has eyes on Henry, the captain is going to keep her suspended. And unless they plan on firing her like they did Bryant for what she knows to completely take any away authority she could use, they might have plans for her because the fact they know they can't trust her. Councilman Amberson is a character they've been building up since the first episode of the season when Detective Amberson, his daughter, was introduced as Jen's partner. Jen was annoyed that Councilman Amberson's daughter got assigned as her partner, thinking she only got the job because she was entitled. But she let Jen know that she really doesn't get along with her father like that, and at that time she was no longer speaking to him, either though he was still trying to get in contact with her to try to rebuild their relationship. And right before she was killed, Detective Amberson mentioned to Jen that she was going to try to work things out with her father and at least hear what he had to say. But she was never given this opportunity after being killed by Henry in the crossfire. But my big question concerning Detective Amberson, is he clean or is he also on Blaze's payroll? Keeping in mind what Sterling specifically told T about Henry in episode 2. That her old man's an old school gangster who used to be a cop who's connected with the city council and 5-0 on the east side still. He also said that Blaze's operation was strong. And we saw the reach of Blaze's operation as Henry also sent CPS after T as well. Some were mistaken that Keisha sent them after T, but it was Henry, keeping in mind that she just finished telling Bryant to tell her everything he knew about Terry Flannery. Then they confirmed it was Henry as well the next episode when Keisha was trying to get Judge Darnell to help T when Henry showed up to the spot and told Judge Darnell that it wouldn't be a good idea for him to help Terry. This also showed that the Andreases have judges in their pockets as well, and the only reason Judge Darnell gave Terry the assist was because Keisha blackmailed him. Also keep in mind that Blaze does answer to somebody, because after Detective Amberson's death, what I thought was at her repass, I'm not 100% sure about that though. Blaze told Henry that there's going to be repercussions. No more looking the other way on their deals, and no more exclusive distribution at political events. And we know now from episode 9 that Blaze doesn't answer to the police captain either. So with that said, what are the chances that Councilman Amberson is actually who Blaze answers to? And by Jen turning to him for help, she's only going to be playing herself. Because of course when she turns to him, he'll act like he's interested in helping. But he'll most likely turn around and tell Blaze everything that Jen tells him. Likely about going undercover with Henry, as well as the bug in Henry's sword or cane or whatever she carries around with. Because in the trailer, we see Henry get a call while Jen is at her place. And we also see that Henry has a new look as well, now going with the Jordan fade. This could be because of her cousin being killed, but we also got to remember this was a popular look at the time. Michael Jordan and Tupac had shaved heads, so we got to keep in mind that the best basketball player and the best rapper of this time period both had this look, so this could also have something to do with the change in Henry's appearance as well. But in the trailer, when Henry gets off the phone, Jen asks Henry if it was more work stuff. When Henry tells Jen that she doesn't want to talk about that, but she would rather just have fun, as she grabs Jen by the neck. I think that phone call coming in is most likely Blaze after Councilman Amberson has told him about Jen, and Blaze is likely telling Henry what Jen's up to. It's also possible that Jen told Amberson about the wire, and Henry knows about it, and that's why she grabbed Jen by the throat, because she doesn't want her killing Jen to be recorded. But if Jen doesn't tell Amberson about the listening device, or Henry kills Jen before she finds out about the listening device, it could be a storyline we see going into season 4. Because there's a chance Blaze tells her not to act immediately, not telling her about the listening device, and Henry disobeys his orders like usual, only to find herself getting caught up, either though it won't be permissible in court. Then once Bryant gets all this on the wire, and knowing that he can't trust Councilman Amberson either, I think he'll then turn to DEA agent Chambers, who we were introduced to in season 2 when they locked up K9. Agent Chambers was also with Bryant when he arrested T in the flash forward scene from 2007 at the beginning of season 2. So we know in around 15 years, Bryant goes from being a suspended cop to working for the DEA and arresting Terry Flannery. Because of that, I think Bryant's going to use whatever information he has against the Andreas organization to bring down the whole corrupt Detroit system, and this is how he's going to get a job with the DEA. Because once he takes down the Andreas organization, all of his attention will then be turned to BMF, because for whatever reason, Bryant blames BMF for Kevin's death and all his problems just as much as he did Henry. Never holding himself accountable for his part at the same time, only turning to the liquor bottle instead. And as Meech and T expand BMF nationwide, getting his job back at the local E-Course police station won't give Bryant enough power to take down the Flannery brothers. This is why Bryant will try to get on with the DEA instead. He will also likely be who puts BMF on the map federally with the DEA. But either though the wire that Jim planted won't be permissible in court, this doesn't mean they can't use whatever they get off the wire to catch the Andreases in the act of a crime. And this is most likely what Brian and Jen are trying to do right now, either though they still don't have the authority to make an arrest. And there is also one other wild card to keep in mind with Henry and Jen's relationship. Keeping in mind it was Lenny, the man who Jen arrested after putting the ambulance in his name, is who hooked Jen up with Henry with the hopes that Jen would get his charges dropped. But the fact that Jen is suspended likely also means she was lying to Lenny about getting his charges dropped. So if Henry finds out about Lenny getting locked up, she could also find out who the arresting officer was. Just leaving another way that Jen could possibly be exposed. And there you have it. Leave your thoughts, theories, and predictions in the comments.